Hey, we're gonna get started. I'm sure you guys have other things to do today, so it's 7 o'clock, and I just wanted to say thank you guys for making it out today. You know, I don't know if you guys have been here before or not. If you guys don't mind, how many of you first timers? A lot. Oh, I love that. So, you know, tell your friends to come. This is a great networking event that we have here. We put together this back in 2010, co-founder Meetup. And it's just been growing and growing to the point that I have people from outside of Austin wanting to do this event and duplicate it, like in Chicago and Austin, LA, and then even Monterrey, Mexico. So if you guys are interested to pitch in those locations, once we get completely launched, tell your friends about it and invite them, and hopefully they can come and pitch in those different locations, because right now we're live casting this, and we started meetups that are in those specific locations, and they're all kind of watching online because this is live cast. So if you guys cannot make it, you can come and watch it online, but the thing is you miss the networking. So this is the great thing about being here. You get to network and meet others. So this is the co-founder for April. Put this together by myself and my wife and the awesome volunteers. My name is Johan Borch. And I guess you guys are wondering what the tags you guys have on. Pretty much what we have up there says to call it out what they mean. If you're a developer, investor, whatever that might be. I have a big black one. It just means that I do everything of those. Just kidding. But yeah, the tech map. So other than that, this is us, and then we have other events that we're coming up with. On May 8th, we have a networking event. Not sure if it's going to be a WeWork. We might do that one somewhere else, but it's going to be a party. It's free, and we're looking for sponsors to sponsor it and for them to get up there. And we usually have about 300 to 400 people that show up to this event. It's networking, and there's other events that we do during the, this month, I guess, that we're going to be doing. Then we have a hackathon with Angel Hack. If you guys haven't, if you guys are a hacker or looking for hackers, you should come so you can meet some there, or developers. It's only $10. It's for 2 days, and you get it fed. So that's pretty cheap for $10. Cheaper than what we charge here, but if you guys have time, just try to be there. Also, the next one is May 11th, our meetup. And we have an event that we're doing with GA, General Assembly, which is called The Pitch. It's actually at WeWork, and it's going to be 3%ers talking about how to pitch yourself to investors, or also employees or employers, or how to hire people. And that's going to be a good event coming next month on May 6th. I don't have it up here. And of course, if you don't mind, put your phones and silence. And if you can tweet, put at the tech map or hashtag Capital Factory as well. This event is, it's really supported by you guys. This is a community event, even though we appreciate you guys paying for this and help us out to, feed you guys. Hopefully you guys like the food, and we can do more of that for you guys as well. If you guys want to present, there's a tiny URL for the tech map to sign up for them. And then, of course, if you haven't signed up to the tech map, you should. It's free, and what we're trying to bring is a network of people like LinkedIn, but for IT, basically, for people that are professionals, and events like this, we can provide it and achieve places and network and meet one-on-one, face-to-face. This is all our sponsors. We have pitch deals. I don't know if Christian or Tony is here to say something about pitch deals. You want to say something about pitch deals, Tony? We couldn't do this without them. They're partners. They advertise for us and help us get food like that over there and network with us.
How you doing? Pitch deal is Priceline for restaurant. We are currently looking for a developer to build up our app and website. Thank you.
Thank you. Juju Promo is our marketing stuff. So you see the hats or the shirts and stuff like that. That's actually my wife's business. If you guys need some marketing or stickers, she does all that, so you should talk to her. That's the blonde girl outside. Austin Phoenix, I don't know if you guys know them. They're partners where they advertise for us in our events. They're a magazine, or I guess they do magazines, and they have it online, so people can check out their, talking about startups. And then we have Eric with Profile Portraits. Do you want to say something, Eric?
Hello, my name is Eric with Profile Portraits. I'm a photographer here in Austin. If you guys are looking for headshots or anything like that, that's what I do. I also support this event as well with photos. You'll see cards around you. That's where you find the photos. So thanks. Hope you have fun.
Yes, actually, all the pictures that you guys see in our Meetup co-founder, it's from him where it says profile portrait. They're awesome pictures, so you'll see a bunch of them up here later once we post them. And WR is our legal attorney. I don't know if Dagan is here or RC. Basically, what they do, they work with a lot of startups for the legal department, and if you guys need an attorney, you should contact them. Capital Factory, of course, you guys are here. They provide the space. Pretty nice space for being downtown. If you guys don't know, they do have a $5 parking downstairs if you park. You just have to get a little card from Ashley, and you don't have to pay the 20 or whatever it might be, so it's only $5. You just have to give both of the little permit things to them at the bottom so they can give you that. The Pitch Academy, she's actually not here, is Melissa. She helps people that actually present to investors, and she helps you put an actual presentation deck. So she's going to be actually doing our speaking next month with General Assembly, so you should check it out. It's free, and we should have beer and food as well. So definitely be there. Then we have IBM BlueMix. If you guys don't know who they are, I'm sure you guys know who IBM is. They're kind of like, if you need a hosting for IBM is getting to the hosting department, and they have a code for startups that basically is for free for a couple of months. So definitely should check them out if you're starting something as well. And there's others like Google and Rackspace and everybody else, and I can tell you the codes of those as well, the contacts if you need one from Microsoft as well. That's with Azure for hosting. Then we have Matthew. He's going to be talking about an event. If you want to come up here, Matthew. It's with Culture FX, right?
So I'm the owner of cultureeffects.com, culture-effects.com. We have a network of about 30,000 members in Austin. We'll be producing a speed networking for professionals event April 21st. It's Tuesday, 7 p.m. at the W Hotel. So I'd like to see some of you out there if you're interested. And then I know myself and Johan are going to be producing an event May 26th.
May 26th or April 26th?
I believe it's May 26th. Yeah.
I'll be in Europe.
Okay. So
he'll be producing.
Yeah.
But I hope I'm.
Yep. So we'll be doing CoFounders happy hour sometime in the next month or so. And then I also own Awesome Visuals Animation Studio, which we make marketing videos in 3D animation, custom fly-throughs for products and services. So.
Cool. Yes, actually, the stuff that they have is pretty cool. I think some of their people they're working with is like Bell or Warner Brothers. It was telling me it's like, that's amazing videos. Then we have Antonio with Pretty Smart Homes, and I'll show you a video that he wanted to share with you guys because he's running a actual campaign.
This is a Pretty Smart lamp reloaded. It's Pretty Smart lamp because it's pretty smart, and it's a lamp. And it is reloaded because it's the second version. It has all the feedback that I've got from this incredible meetup. It's made here in Austin, actually a tech shop. There's my good friend Travis here from tech shop. And CNC, what you saw over there is CNC, the laser. You can actually control it with your smartphone, any color that you want. If you don't want to use your phone, if you don't want to use your phone, you just tap on it. If you cannot really find your phone, you double tap on it and it finds your phone, etc. So that wasn't really finding your phone, but there you have it. See? There. So anyway, it finds your phone, it controls your temperature, it does notifications, quite a lot of stuff. And so we're doing a Kickstarter next week. I hope we will make a good impression if you help us. I have some literature on the back. We're going to be doing taking emails for early birds for a good special. So with your help, we'll make it. Thank you.
Definitely, this is the second time that he's going to run the Kickstarter, so do support it. I think this is a great product, and as an engineer himself, I think there's more stuff that he's going to add to it. Because last time I saw him, it wasn't as cool as it, but I'm helping him to get it out there. It's awesome. Then this is the event, of course, of Angel Hack. If you guys don't know about it, like I said, it's $10. It doesn't cost that much. We are actually looking for sponsors and also looking for people to attend and mentors and judges. Anybody that can want to come talk to me about it. We'd love to have anybody that can help out. Volunteers as well. The next person I want to have here is Laura with Stretch Recipe. If she can come to the front. She's going to give you input about her company she pitched here before in the past.
Hi, my name is Lauren Foster, and I'm the founder of Stretch Recipes here in Austin, and we're a social impact company that is on a mission to help everyone eat better and save more. And no, I'm not your traditional social entrepreneur, as in like, I don't like to make money. So I'm just throwing that out there now. I am partnered with a number of entities that do great things in the community, because I know it's important to not only make revenue, but also make change in people's lives. And so my company is literally about not just making dollars, but change too. And right now, I am searching for 2 co-founders, one who works within event space and possibly television media creation, and the other that would work in straight technical. In terms of like the traction that I've had over the past year, I won the TechCrunch pitch off here in Austin for Audience Choice. I am one of the top 5 for IBM's New Way to Startup, and so I'll be featured on their reality series next week, which starts filming. I was a finalist for the UT Food Lab, Unlimited USA, and I'm very tenacious, and I am very stubborn. So to work with me means that you do want to achieve 6 figures in a short amount of time and help a lot of people. So I will be here, and I'll be here afterwards, and I'd love to talk to you more about my company and answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
I want to share a video for you guys. This is the video that we did an event. This is our party event. You guys never attended to them.
What I love about the Tech Lab is that I get to meet
400 people, so definitely you should come. When we do
so many different people from different backgrounds, different industry jobs, software guys, developers, that's hardware. It's really fun to meet everybody. This event relates a lot where we're trying to bring a lot of startups and entrepreneurs just mingle together, network. If they're looking to connect for jobs, they're looking to connect with others in the industry, this is a great place to be at.
It's a really exciting event. We've had about 300 RSVPs across different platforms, probably a little bit more than that. So we're really excited to have everyone out here today, specifically just to celebrate Austin startups and all of the innovative business ideas that are being produced here in the city.
So I'm not going to play the whole thing because it's kind of long, but the guy that actually did the video is Regan, and I want to give him props up because it's a great video, and he partners it up with a lot of people with us, like us.
Thanks, Johan. My name is Reagan Peterson, and I'm a videographer specializing in cinematic videography. I mean, anybody with a phone can make a video these days. People hire me when they want something that's cinematic and fun, so it's not uncommon for me to spend 20 to 30 hours to cut a 1 to 2 minute video. And it's all about being interesting, being fast-paced, cutting together a lot of elements, layering it, and making it fun to watch. And that's what I do. I work in all sorts of different industries, and this was a fun one where I get to do a live event, but I do work with, like I said, all sorts of different people. So if you're interested in making a video for your company, or even a personal one to represent yourself as profile, I specialize in that sort of thing, and I can definitely help you. And just come talk to me afterwards.
Thank you for that. So I want to do some greenhouse scenario, and I don't know if you guys know what the bathroom is, but if you don't know, it's just go out this way. When you see the pretty girl Ashley, just go that way. For females, on to the right, and then also the left. And we won't be taking any breaks, so if you guys need to run, just do it quick. We have beers back here, and the food, if there's still any left, is back there. We'll be doing 2 actual raffles, and one of them is going to be for the ticket for the hackathon, and the other one's going to be for just a shirt or a hat, whatever you guys choose. And we'll pass around a actual little thing so you guys can put your business cards, and at the end, we'll go ahead and raffle them out. So if you have no business card, you can just write your name or information so we can just draw it out. So, get into the good stuff here, guys. Presentation format is 5 minutes. That's what we have. Our presenters, our main presenters, come and talk, and then we have a 4-minute, audience questions and scenario. We have to be out of here by 9, so we're hoping to get out of here. We'll finish our presentation by 8:30, and we'll have a 30 minutes networking. And if not, after 9:30, we can go downstairs at the bar and hang out more. 9 o'clock, we have to get out of here because they're coming to clean the room. So that's our time frame. And if you're looking to pitch, just email us at team@thetechmap if you have any questions. We still have spots for May, and we'd love to have you to present. This is pretty much the rundown of the presenters. And if you have any questions for them, they're going to keep their presentations, and afterwards, if you want to network, they're going to stick around so you can talk to them about their business. So if you guys don't mind, let's go get started. Are you guys awake? Come on, guys, come on. All right, ready for some pictures? All right, there we go. So Emmanuel, please come to the front. Teacher Sherpa.
So thank you for having us here, first of all. I want to introduce myself. My name is Danielle, and this is Emmanuel, and we're the co-founders of Teacher Sherpa, a collaborative platform for teachers and students to create, customize, and share their educational materials. A little bit about myself is I've been in education for 18 years. 12 years I was a classroom teacher, and for the past 6 years, I've been an instructional coach supporting teachers.
Hello, everybody. I'm Emmanuel. I am a seasoned entrepreneur. I've got 1 successful exit, 1 successful turnaround, a few fails, as good entrepreneurs would have it, and several positions in business development.
So as a teacher and instructional coach, I see firsthand the daily challenges and struggles that teachers face when they're searching for educational materials. First of all, one of the challenges that teachers face is there's an overwhelming amount of materials out there. So when they're searching, they face a problem with this. Secondly, is that when they do find content, it's very difficult to find content that matches the standards, whether it's state standards or Common Core. A third problem and struggle that they face is when they do find quality materials, it's often very costly. And finally, last but not least, very few things that are out there right now are customizable, which is very important for teachers because in a classroom, they have children that do not all learn the same way, so they need to differentiate their materials for them. These struggles and challenges aren't just isolated to my colleagues here in Austin ISD. These problems are nationwide that teachers face.
So, and beyond nationwide, there was actually teachers, there was a survey that came out in 2013 that said that teachers spend $1.6 billion out of their own pocket on educational materials. That was half of the educational budget for that year. which is absolutely crazy when you think of it. Is that the only industry where people actually have to go to work and spend their own money to actually do their jobs? And as Danielle said it, they can't even find the right materials to teach their classrooms and meet their kids' needs. So how are we going to solve these problems, and how are we currently enrolling and pre-registering teachers to solve these problems? We're building a platform for teachers to easily browse, customize, and share classroom materials with their peers and their students.
And so when you take a look at the competitive landscape, you'll see that some of the leaders in this industry do not offer curated content, customization tools, and a collaborative environment. And as you can see from this slide, there's a great opportunity to offer these things to teachers.
So we actually did a little bit of market research. We surveyed over 800 teachers nationwide, and we had overwhelming feedback that they would be willing to pay $5 or more a month for a platform that offered a convenience to easily browse, customize, and share classroom materials and educational materials. So we're really after adopting the Dropbox model. Invite a teacher, get a month free, create a team, get a month free, invite sponsors and parents to subsidize teacher memberships. We are actually reaching out to Donors Choose to try to make that as easily as possible. The whole threshold of, if we get 50% of a school that would be on Teacher Sherpa, then reach out to the school district and say, wouldn't it be about time for you guys to pick up the bill on behalf of these teachers? I mean, we're all about not making the teachers pay, but we have to fund ourselves a little bit too. So we're starting at $4.99 a month and hopefully getting everybody else to pitch in so that teachers don't have to do it. Sorry for that slide. So in a nutshell, where do we stand today? We have over 500 pre-registered teachers in probably 2 to 3 week period, and we've kind of leveled off because we've had a harder time finding the dev team and the CTOs and all the technical aspects of putting our ideas together. But it's actually been relatively easy, as you can imagine. We know where teachers are. All their emails are public information. It's on the school district's website. I've actually spent couple of one-nighters, scraping school districts, and it's easy to, come up 10 or 20,000 emails for teachers and start spamming them and letting them know about this great concept that's out there. So communication to our target audience is simple. What we're actually looking for today are the right designers, the right developers. We're totally bootstrapping this. We've spoken to a lot of angels, a lot of our capital factory mentors actually, and where we stand today is literally we need to have not necessarily an MVP that provides revenue, but at least a working prototype. And we're probably a couple of weeks out until we have a working prototype, and then we have about 60 teachers that have volunteered and stepped forward to be part of getting that MVP product out. Today, we're here with you guys to network, meeting designers, developers. If there are any angels out here, we'd love to shake your hands and talk about it in 3 months. But that's our purpose here. So any questions, we'll be happy to answer them. Yeah.
Any questions, anybody? Yeah.
I don't think I heard if you had plans to be the marketplace for that development.
So it's an interesting question. The biggest, the question was, do we plan to be a marketplace? As in, I'm assuming you're saying, do teachers upload their content for other teachers to access and so forth? The leader, or one of the people, companies that is currently a leader in this marketplace is Teachers Pay Teacher. They actually transacted $160 million in revenues, and they have an Etsy model where basically teachers are uploading their educational materials and other teachers are buying it. The problem, one of the problems that they're seeing is there's an overabundance of type A teachers that are wanting to make thousands of dollars, not necessarily adding value, simply multiplying the number of content onto their website. And from Danielle's experience, quantity is not necessarily a good thing. So we are all about creating a community, but we want to have curated content. We want to have more of the Apple Store upload your app according to a certain type of criteria, so we're not uploading anything onto our platform. We want it to meet core standards. We want it to be of value for the kids and for the teachers. And because it's customizable, we don't need to have everything green or pink or with a unicorn or hearts or whatever else. The teachers can go in there and customize it and do all the little fluffy things teachers do to meet their kids' needs and engage them in their individual ways without having to have 1,000 of that one Venn diagram or, you know, compare and contrast chart, basically. So yes, but with the caveat of we want it to be curated content.
And also, hello? Okay. Also, I just wanted to add one other thing is, you know, teachers are all about sharing their materials, and one of the things that you often hear from teachers is, you know, the amount of money that we all have to spend out of our own pockets. So because there are platforms like Teachers Pay Teachers, or another one is Teacher's Notebook, and so forth, we want to have our platform. Yes, we're going to have to have a subscription to, you know, pay the bills, but we want to have a platform where teachers are actually sharing content that other teachers can go on and use and modify to meet the needs of the students in their class. So they're sharing because that's what teachers do, not sharing for, you know, these limited amount of teachers that are able to make X amount of money on our platform.
You're gonna have a GitHub.
I'm sorry?
Somewhat, yes.
You got a question right here?
Get back to you right. Hold on, right over here. Sorry.
Hey, I was just curious about this chart. Could you explain what it means, the difference between like the gray with the X's, the whites, and the thumbs ups?
Interesting.
It's not really evident.
So our purpose, and thanks for the feedback, is we're learning as we're pitching this for the first time to you guys. So we're the first line teacher so far, and we're able to provide all of those top services. The gray area is our competitors, or would-be competitors once we're live. The thumbs up of the competitors in the grayscales, that means that they're actually providing these services as well. When there is no thumbs up, that they're not providing them. And I am actually seeing your question with the light gray versus the dark gray and the dots here. I believe what we had meant, and there's probably something, there is some of those, like the teacher clip art, in some of it, there is very limited or restricted access, or it's paid access to a certain amount. So there's kind of a gray scale between availability versus not availability. And we had a real struggle as trying to put everybody in the chart, in essence. And we probably forgot an icon in there. But the light gray area are basically Teachers Pay Teacher allow storage and sharing, not in the same capacity that we're thinking of it, but certainly allow a little bit of a sharing. They have, like, you know, the Amazon My Account information type of thing, but they don't necessarily allow for the Google Docs sharing component of it. So it's kind of like in between the lines. Does that answer your question a little bit?
Yeah, just to clarify, so does that mean the very limited and like the lighter gray is the same?
Or very limited.
And under customization.
Yes. Our bad on that one. You're right. No, but thank
Sorry
you.
about that.
One more question, please.
Yes. Well, hold on, Reagan had his hand up. Sorry.
So the customization, I'm just curious, so as far as diversity, like if say you wanted an entire second grade curriculum for the entire year, you provide that, versus say if a teacher just wanted a lesson plan for Lord of the Flies, instead of teaching it in between. And also kind of the second half of that question is the digital element, as devices are more and more in the classroom, is that going to be incorporated into it? And I'm just curious, those elements, how is that going to play in your platform?
So if I'm understanding you correctly, you're wanting to know if a teacher goes in and is looking for a lesson plan on Lord of the Flies, then is that entire lesson plan?
Can they get something small like that? Or if they just say a first year, second grade teacher says, I want to have a template, I may change it, but I want a template for the entire 180-day school year, is it going to also offer that? You understand, just from very small to very large?
So the way we're thinking is if a teacher goes on into Teacher Sherpa and they're looking for a specific plan on, you know, Lord of the Flies or whatever the case may be, they can go in, find a lesson plan that's already been curated. They can pick and choose what they want from that lesson plan. If there are questions on there that are not rigorous enough, they can change them. If there's a graphic organizer that is missing from there, they can easily add it from our collection of our library collection that we have of clip arts, teacher doodles, and so forth, so they can customize it to meet their needs.
Just as a complimentary thing, for those, I don't know if there are any teachers in the audience, but there's a teacher word which is printables. And a lot of what we're referring to as educational materials are actually referred to as printables in the classroom. And it's literally stuff that teachers go in, browse on Google, Pinterest, Teachers Pay Teacher, and so forth, and print on their school printers. The digital air happens at Capital Factory. It is not in the teachers. I have a 10-year-old daughter that's going to Cedar Creek. She's got an iPad. They play on it an hour a week. There is no homework coming home on that iPad. We're still a few generations, I'm exaggerating, but a few years away from the digital classroom. That being said, to answer that part of the question, the vision with our templates is to actually simply embed the interactive PDF fields or the DocuSign fields. So ultimately, a teacher could actually create their own quiz, their own test, email that to their students, and the students actually have the open fields for their replies to come in, ultimately have a platform to analyze the answers and provide all of that analysis and back end to the teachers. So the vision is definitely to incorporate the digital element into it. The reality of classrooms today is we're very much pens and paper. So unfortunately, we're not quite there yet.
Thank you so much.
So if you guys want to reach out, right here, or you can talk to them afterwards. So just write down information. Let's have the next presenter come up. 1 second. Bubblegram. And
no,
shoot.
Can everyone hear me all right?
Yeah.
All right, so my name is Tim Fisher. As you can see from the sheet, I'm presenting Bumblegram Messenger. I just came to Austin from New York, so it's great to see everybody here, a few familiar faces already, and I hope you get a chance to meet everybody. So let's do something a little different. Before I tell you what we're doing, let me ask you a question. What do we know about Viber, WeChat, Kik Messenger, Facebook, Gmail, besides the fact that they're all wildly successful?
They have encryption.
Say that again?
They have encryption.
They have encryption. We have that too. Well, we know they've all recently added doodling or drawing to their texting platforms. In the case of Google, they even added doodling to Gmail. So when you go to attach a file, now it gives you the option, I want to draw a picture, and automatically attach it and send it. Even Apple's iWatch is advertising draw pictures to your friends. Some people are shaking their heads, have probably seen that. What else do we know about these guys? Well, I would purport to you that they've all completely missed the mark. They've identified the need, which is why they're adding it, but their solution is clunky and needs some updating. So let me ask you to envision a new kind of texting app. Our app, Bumblegram Messenger, lets you draw doodles anywhere on the screen. They're not confined to those little text messages. Our doodles send live in real time. So as you're drawing a circle over here, your friend sees the circle show up as you draw it. In addition, you can even doodle over top of the pictures, as you see in this photo. So since we have a few extra minutes, I'll just back up. That's today. You run through about 6 steps. You get a static image inside a little message bubble. With our technology, you can doodle anywhere on the screen, which is pretty fun. We have an iOS app. Folks ought to go try it out. So our vision is to make communication easier. Teens love it. It's why these other companies are going for the doodle market. But imagine how this can make communication easier. A doctor can annotate an x-ray. Imagine you're a physician. I'm your client. I'm at home. I'm the patient. You want to ask me, where on my body does it hurt? We can send messages back and forth. Texting with doctors is kind of a big deal these days. You could send me an image and ask me to save it, open it in PowerPoint, annotate it, save it again, text it back. You would do the same process. We'd go through this several times. Or with our technology, you can text me a picture of anatomy and I just touch the screen. You can say, well, do you hurt over here? And you draw a circle somewhere else. So that's our vision. Here you can see an example of a construction foreman telling a crew member where to put this pile of equipment. Try describing that without any drawings. It'd be pretty complicated. So where are we today? People probably want to know. We have an iOS app in the App Store. It works for iPad and iPhone. We have a web app online that you can sign into at our website. It lets you text any of our messaging devices from your browser and doodle with them, which is pretty fun. And we will have an Android app by the end of the month. If you're an investor, you're going to want to know how we're going to protect your investment. If you want to sign up with us as a developer, how do you know this job will be around in a month? So we have some pretty fun intellectual property pending that should lock this down and give us some licensing avenues. We've already been onboarded by Silicon Valley Bank. As I said, I'm coming from New York, so I have good connections in New York, including working with the head of Oric's East Coast Technology Division, which is a lot of fun. And so, ladies and gentlemen, again, my name is Tim Fisher. This is Bumblegram Messenger. So now that we know what it is, the purpose of tonight's presentation, I'm looking for people who are Node.js backend developers. Node.js is a pretty cool server language, compiled JavaScript, and of course iOS on the front end and Android on the front end. If there's anybody that meets that bill, that wants to work on a pretty fun project, please look me up after the talk, and my contact info is on the website. So that's that.
Yeah. Anybody have questions?
Any questions? Yes, sir.
For security, what is your security of the device, and do you support HIPAA security for healthcare applications?
So right now we're using pretty standard SSL security. We don't support HIPAA. My goal in the healthcare industry is to license that up. So you're right, there are HIPAA compliant texting apps. That's one submarket. There's also another submarket of healthcare that is doctors and patients texting. And so that's where I think some of the intellectual property can come in, and we can hopefully partner with those folks, help them build it. We actually have some people with careers in healthcare that are currently helping us get in contact with those companies. But that's a good question. That market is super highly regulated. Yes, sir.
Is it licensing, or do you have any other business models?
Say that one more time.
What's the business model?
So what we'd like to do as a company is target the consumer market first. It's the easiest to produce for. It's the most forgiving in terms of regulation, and young people like doodling. I went and interviewed 150 people in New York and found that 40% of young kids said they doodled on their phone with Snapchat, Drawcast, some other texting and drawing technology. When you get much beyond 26, it's not a compulsive fun thing that people just do. It's more for a constructive purpose like healthcare, or you can imagine if we're on a tech, those tech chats, something like that. So we're going to target the consumer space and hopefully possibly partner or license with some folks in other spaces that require more expertise.
I've got a question. So does the doodle work only on pictures, or can you do videos as well, like different shots of things, make changes?
What do you mean by that?
So like you can, I don't know if you use Camtasia, is where you actually record a screen.
Camtasia. No, you can't make a video recording of it yet.
Okay.
No. But you can draw anywhere on the texting app. So anywhere your messages are, you scroll through them, you just touch the screen and start drawing. Yes, sir.
But you can capture the still image when you're done.
Correct. Yep. That's correct. Yes, sir.
Is your idea to sell it to consumers? I mean, 99 cents, is that the model?
So right now it's a free app. I see 3 ways of monetizing. I like the Viber model, which is put it out for free for some period of time. At the end of that period of time, you monetize with ads and give people the option to buy out the ad or not. There's some texting companies that have made a lot of revenue with stickers and upgraded drawing tools, which is where I'm most excited. So you can imagine in the healthcare market, or as an electrical engineer, or as a kid, you have the sticker package that's $1 that has a fun mustache, or the ISO certified medical symbols packages, or the electrical symbols. So the drawing add-ons is where I think we monetize the most.
Okay, one more question, please.
Do you have like a project with advanced implementation, or one project? And the second question, how many messages per hour you can send, like 1 million, 10 million?
So right now it's set only, so this thing died. Right now the iOS app is only portrait. We could do landscape, but there's some technical reasons why that wasn't optimal. I can't tell you how many messages we can or cannot support for developers out there. We're running on AWS's system and a Node.js environment using WebSockets. So you can send an awful lot of them, but we've never benchmarked what you can put through the system because it depends on what you pay them. So if you pay them a lot of money, you can push through a lot of data.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. We'll be sticking around so you can ask questions. Bill,
Actually,
okay.
I'm going to do the presentation.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Good evening, everybody. Johan, thanks for having us here. Is this not working?
Yeah, it should be working. It's not working.
Can y'all hear me? Okay.
There you go.
Anyway, my name is Ray Tatum. I'm Director of Sales for Starks. I'm going to change this up a little bit because I thought we had 15 minutes, and this is good. This is way more than 5 minutes. Basically, our company, I'm not going to use this. Yeah. Our company has developed a patented Layer 2 communications software product. The number one has never, ever been compromised. It has been tested and attempted to be broken by several government entities over the last several years. Troy University just took 9 months with the help of some other organizations attempting to crack it. They have not been able to do it yet. I'm sure that some of you guys may be familiar with IPSec and how people have been using secure communication methods over the last 15 or 20 years. There's an underlying flaw in what's being done because when the internet came out, there was never a way set up for someone not to answer a request or a ping. What we've done is gone back to the basically 1970s and said, hey, what if we create a way that we don't answer the door when someone knocks on it? Okay, that's a fairly novel idea. The beauty of that idea is it eliminates the risk of denial of service attacks completely. We recently survived a 2 teraflop denial of service attempt, did not respond to a single ping. It's impenetrable. We can cover digital communications, voice, video, data. What we're doing is creating an intranet over public airspace or public data lines, whatever you want to call it. One beauty of this is when you go into the airport and you see the free Wi-Fi spots that you know are fake, you can actually use these and communicate. And I'll tell you the reason why. As I mentioned, it's software only. It protects from external hacking because we do not respond. The beautiful thing about this is when you load this onto your machines and start talking, it's device-based. There's a very, I want to say esoteric fingerprint on all the devices that has to match exactly or they will not respond to the others. Once they do, the beauty of this is when they start talking, we plug in generally 3 to 4 different encryption platforms. We change the key length, and the methodology every second. We're going to be able to change that at the packet level in the immediate future. So you think of it this way, if someone does manage to find where you're talking or find your IP address and physically went in and plugged into it and started recording it, okay, they might capture your traffic. Well, I'm sure a few of you guys, probably most of y'all are familiar with how a perfect key in 256 is theoretically unhackable. Nobody uses perfect keys. If you change that key and the methodology and the key length and the 2 people communicating with each other switch from symmetric to asymmetric and positions every second or every packet, who's going to try, who has the horsepower to attempt to break that? I mean, there's lower hanging fruit out there. Our product, as I mentioned, it operates strictly at layer 2. The footprint is tiny. It's smaller than the majority of the antivirus products. We recently ran a test using Microsoft Link, doing voice and video with 4 individuals at one time on some older machines, and our maximum CPU usage was about 12% when we were getting synced up. Once we got synced up, it dropped to 5%. 105 megabytes of RAM was the maximum utilization. So it's tiny. We can put it anywhere, and it's very easy. The implementation and management of the product, when the server administrator installs this, He gets to determine who can talk to who. You can talk to this guy, and this guy can talk to him, but he can't talk to him, but you two.
You got 1 minute.
I'm sorry?
You got 1 minute.
Okay. Basically, anybody tries to make a communication attempt outside their network, it gets stopped and it gets reported. So once again, if someone internally tries to steal something, or if someone hacks into it and tries to send that information outside the network, they're stopped and you know about it. All ports are closed. Just touch that. And it basically, like I said, it enables truly secure communications over the public internet. And as I mentioned several times, we have test results that we can share. We have no problem with that. We have no problem giving people trial copies and getting them to try to break it. No one's done it yet. Like I said, there's been almost 10 years of development in this product. There's no way to put a back door in it. So without me saying anything I shouldn't, you can kind of think about where this was originally, what this was planned for, and when you realize you cannot put a back door in the product, obviously we're looking for a commercial market at this point.
So are you looking for, I guess, investors or?
No, what we are looking for, and it's funny, and this is, like I said, this is a little bit off, but we actually have a company up and running. What we are looking for is developers who will take this product and build applications and services with it and use it as a foundation. Because what we can do, I mean, if anybody knows a cloud provider or someone who wants to do personal finance or Bitcoin transfer or anything else, they can use our software as a platform and know that whatever they're doing is 100% secure and charge, obviously, a premium for incorporating that.
Okay. Anybody has questions?
In the back.
Here. Question, you say this is software, you're loading it, I assume, on the device itself. Is this being loaded at the driver level or on the firmware level?
At the driver level. This is it's on the operating system.
Which
I have not
operating
detected
systems
that.
are you supporting right now?
Windows right now, it is strictly Windows based. However, we are doing a recode to base C that is already is in process. Our target is somewhere early fall to have that release. However, this weekend I may have made a deal that could speed that up considerably.
Yeah, because as long as you're doing Windows, obviously you're looking at desktops. You're not doing anything on the server level, so you're not protecting.
Well, no, we do. We operate on Windows servers as well.
Windows servers, but the vast majority out there that are running are Linux.
Right, and that's what I said. We're recoding to base C so that we can adapt to Unix, Linux, Oracle, etc.
You looked at doing it at the firmware level and coupling in with, for instance, the Intel IPsec chip.
Yes, we've thought about that and actually worked with a German company that builds encryption hardware.
Extracom?
That's Udamaco.
Oh, okay.
But what we're trying to avoid is basically incorporating another layer of complexity into it. Because as I said, right now it's very efficient, it's very easy to manage, and it's simple. And we're trying to keep it that way.
Okay.
One more question.
I'll talk to you more.
Yeah, go ahead.
So it sounds like an interesting product. I'm not sure I fully understand the technical details, but what did the accurate mean to say? It's basically like a whitelist of sorts, where there's some kind of network admin would go in and say, this computer can only talk to these people. Everything else is blocked. And that's what makes sure that you can't get anyone hacking in.
Yeah, think of it as network access control combined with dynamic encryption. And from that perspective, as I mentioned, there is an agent that, I would refer to it sometimes as magic or esoteric or whatever else. It takes a very predictive snapshot of properties of your device. They have to match exactly, or the predictive qualities have to match before two machines on that network will even begin to acknowledge each other.
Okay.
So, in theory, yeah.
Johan, one more question, please.
We're running out of time. Really fast?
Fast, okay. You say it's a constantly dynamically changing encryption. Is it like an RSA public-private key concept, or?
No, we do not use a public key. Basically, you know what? If you want to after this, I can explain it to you. It's very detailed. and it'd probably be a lot easier.
Yeah, so usually the quick questions are long answers.
I said it was a quick question. I didn't say anything about this.
I know. So Ray's contact, so you can get his info or talk to him afterwards. Definitely, it's a good topic for those that know what he was talking about. I'm sorry, I'm not a developer or a coder. But I don't mean to put it down, but I know there's a couple of developers that actually got excited. I saw that, so getting quiet there. So Zeppelin, can you come up?
Hey guys, my name is Danny. I'm with Zaplings. We are a community of creators helping each other bring great ideas to life. So let me ask you a question. Have you ever had an idea to create something new? What's the first thing you decided to do? Did you write it down? Did you sketch it out? Did you tell your friends what it was all about? Or did you stow it away, locked up in your head, and to this very day have you left it unsaid? Perhaps someone told you along the way that playing it safe would bring success someday. But just as parents must let children grow, so too must creators let ideas flow. Because no matter how simple the notion, it takes many tries to set wheels in motion. Plus, why would you want to go it alone? There's so much to do and so much unknown. So where are you going to find these people you need to give the right guidance and build your team? Welcome to Zaplings, the best place to go to share new ideas and find help to grow. And so we are a community of creators, and that kind of, I'm trying to make up for my terrible presentation slides. But ultimately, am I too close to the mic? Are we good? Okay, good. I got a little feedback. And we are ultimately looking to become the best place to start a new idea and move it forward. And we want to help you ultimately, eventually, through the entire process from inspiration to implementation. And so the process that we have in place is inspiration, validation, prototyping, team formation, and funding and implementation. So the first thing we want to do is actually grow this community so that we actually have people to help each other, because it's kind of a chicken or the egg. And so we started with the chicken, I guess, of the community and the people. And so we are doing creators nights once a month. We had our first two. Our third is now, don't look at that. Hopefully it's small enough that you can't read it because it's wrong. It is at WeWork on April 29th from 6:30 to 9:30. And you can actually RSVP now for it. It's at zaplings.com/creatorsnight. And we have featured startup, nonprofit, artist, and musician at each event. We have opportunities for you to create and share what you're creating with 5-minute mic time, kind of like this. Inspired by this, I'll say. We have idea brainstorm table, an art table, different ways to get involved and ultimately celebrate what we create, inspire new creations, and meet people to create with. And from there, we are going to introduce, once this community is growing, Creators Night is kind of a template that we're going to take to other cities. I've met a couple people at South by Southwest who are interested in taking this to their cities and starting it at universities and beyond universities. But the 3 questions that we're starting with in terms of our matching algorithm to introduce you to people to create with are: what do you love, what do you offer, and what do you need? And with those, it's all this just shows it's kind of tag based and easy to make those kind of initial shared connections. And then you'll get an email once a week if you want that. It gives you suggestions for 3 people you can meet this week. If you both hit accept, calendar invite goes to your Google Calendar, and it's right there. So it's a one-click accept, basically. And if we can become, if we can reach this goal of becoming the best place to bring a new idea, to find help to grow it, we can really take it anywhere. This is, if you compare it to Kickstarter, for instance, which I would say is maybe currently the best place to go to take a great idea, it's kind of going upstream from there. Kickstarter, you kind of have to have the team ready, kind of have to be ready to accept funding. And this is saying the minute you think of an idea, you put it in your private idea book, you make a public idea page, and people who are relevant to your needs can start seeing it, kind of, and see whatever you want them, whatever you're comfortable with sharing and so forth. But ultimately, I think it's about sharing ideas and getting it out there, because I think too many people are too, have held back too much. And so we want to change this to where people start opening up and seeing other people who are benefiting from, the sharing of ideas. And we can really go anywhere from there. So I don't know what time that is, but I think that sounds good. 1 minute left? Okay. Okay, well, good timing. These are some of the things we're looking for. So the team right now, we have 3 of us. I started learning front-end development last year. Did a program called Thinkful, just kind of an intensive 3-month program where you have kind of access to a mentor once a week by video call. And we have a back-end developer who joined the team last year, actually met at CoFounders Wanted here a year ago. And we're talking to investors right now. We're kind of looking to kind of grow the team. As you might imagine, I'm not the fastest programmer, so keeping up with Nico, who is a PhD in applied mathematics from UT, it can be a little challenging. But and we're also, we also don't have the mobile platform ready yet. Although, the website is mobile accessible, but it's not an app by any means. And for starters, we want to, have an app where you can keep all your ideas in one place. Would love to talk more. Open to, ultimately this can become any tool, any tools that help people create has a place in Zaplings, I believe. And so always open to new ideas and where we might be able to take it. So we'd love to talk more and take any questions.
Yeah, any questions?
What's your business model?
Yeah, so the business model, probably the simplest, and that would actually be to kind of take over Kickstarter's position in crowdfunding, to get the ideas on the site, and then kind of you start growing that conversation around your idea before you ever ask for funding, and kind of increase your chances of success with that. We have several other ideas as well, but for simplicity, I'll stick with that one.
Have you heard of challenge.org?
Challenge.org, I have not.
You can submit ideas there, and then they do hackathons or like startup weekends. So I want to check it out.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Yeah, if all these ideas are opening up there, what's to stop somebody from just seeing a great one and coming with it without collaborating with their original creator?
Yeah, definitely a question we get. One possibility is also that we actually help people get provisional patents, and so you can have a patent pending listing on your idea. That's probably the best way in terms of to get people who are not going to share their idea otherwise. That's again kind of expanding the scope a little bit, but it might be something we do early on.
One more question.
Is the membership, is that open to everyone, or are you curating?
Open to everyone. It's always going to be free to join, to connect, and to communicate. And then the kind of tools and services that we provide on top of that is where people will have the option to pay.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Here's Daniel's information. And next one is Honeybee. Give me 1 second. I know you are.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Carly. I'm the founder of Honeybee. I'm really excited to be here tonight to have this opportunity to present in front of you all. And I'm looking for your feedback, your questions. I'm also looking for a designer, developer, and potentially an investor, if you're interested. So I want to ask the room first, by show of hands, how many of you know what a CSA is? All right, that's what I was expecting. So CSA is a term that stands for Community Supported Agriculture. This term was coined in the 1980s by a group of people who are interested in having a stronger connection to where their food came from. So in the 1980s in the United States, there was about 5 CSAs maybe in the United States. And according to the 2012 USDA Agriculture Census, there's now over 12,000 of these programs throughout the United States. So the goal of my company, Honeybee, is to increase the awareness as well as accelerate the growth of these programs throughout the United States. So as I said, there are now over 12,000 of these programs within the US, doing over $1.3 billion in sales. And what they're selling is a subscription to their farm. Basically, how a CSA program works is that a member will subscribe to a farm, and they're sharing in the risk up front, sharing the risks and benefits up front to the production of food. So how it works is you pay up front for maybe, it's about a 24-week season usually, so that the farmer has the money up front to pay for all the tools, the seeds, the water that he needs to run his farm. And in return, on a week-to-week basis, usually you'll get a box of vegetables. So for the past 3 years, I've worked for a CSA software company. I spend all day, every day talking to farmers throughout the country. I work with about 300 farms right now, and I advise them on how to bring their business online. Now we're giving them the tools right now with this company to help them manage their CSA, but I'm hearing day in and day out that they need help marketing their CSA. They're asking me, how do I have a Facebook page? What's a Google keyword? How much should I be spending on this? And a lot of them don't have the time or the money to make that happen. So Honeybee's mission is to help them have a greater presence online. And we plan on doing that through a CSA search directory. So the way that this works is a farm will come on and pay $10 per month to host a profile, and people can come in and search for a CSA program in their area, type in a zip code, filter based on what product they're looking for: meat, vegetables, eggs, dairy, bread, fish. All of those kinds of programs currently exist, and then they can narrow down the results and try to choose a program that fits them best. So $10 per month post. There's about 12,000 CSAs out there, and that's the idea. So I'm looking for your feedback, your questions, designer, developer, co-founder, as well as possibly an investor. Again, my name is Carly Miller-Harnick, and here's my contact information. Thanks.
Questions?
Is that kind of like a online version of a farmer's market with this kind of subscription based? Is that kind of the idea?
It's somewhat similar. So at a farmer, the difference between this CSA program and a farmer's market is that there's no shared risk. At a farmer's market, you show up on Saturday and you buy a tomato. In this case, usually with a CSA, you're paying up front, possibly months before that tomato is even grown, to share in the risk of production of that food. In return, if the farm has a large bounty that season, you could potentially get more than you paid for a higher value. You also have a strong connection with your farmer, and you're contributing to your local economy.
So isn't insurance the point of insurance to mitigate the risk for the farmer? So how does that play in with what they already do?
Farmers do have insurance, that is true, hopefully. There are farmers who also, insurance might cover one thing but not the other. So it really depends, but it's about building a community. A lot of this, that's why it's called community supported agriculture. It's about a community supporting their food source and sharing in that risk.
So would you facilitate?
Sorry, to the back.
Yeah, do CSAs currently have business listings on the big, top big guys, Facebook, Google?
So CSAs have their own websites. There's also a page called localharvest.org, which is basically like the 1990 version of what I would like to do. Localharvest.org, the thing that farmers really complain about is that it's out of date. So a lot of the listings on Local Harvest don't exist anymore. It's not very user friendly. There aren't good images. There isn't any video. So technically, yes, you could go on Google and search your zip code and community supported agriculture, but it's just not the best experience. We really want to tell the stories of these farms and give them a platform where people want to come and look and hang out.
So they really don't exist on like Google Plus and Yelp right now? Because those platforms support, business pages.
Some farms do have Facebook pages, but as I said, a lot of the farmers that I currently work with barely know how to use their email inbox. So setting up a Facebook business page is not that easy for them. They do it, but the goal is to drive more people to their page.
So how does it work over here? So how are they going to find you?
Right, so we are hoping that because we're an aggregate, we'll have the money, the resources to put out our Google ads, to put up our Facebook ads, and drive more people and more eyes. Our goal is really to educate the world about what CSA is. It is the best way to support your local community. It is the best way to get healthy food. It is the best way to support your farmer. And it's affordable compared to Whole Foods or going to the farmer's market. So it really helps increase food access as well.
One more question.
Yeah, question. You said they don't even deal with their email box. How do you put all the local farms onto your platform?
So there'll be a really easy interface for them to use. They can click sign up, put in, basically it's going to be a template where they type in their information. So put in their phone number, put in their website, put in their description. There'll be guidelines for them on what to post. We also plan on really supporting them in this, going out to the farms, doing farm visits, helping them set up their sites, taking the images for as many as we can. So we're there to support the farmers and help them have this resource.
Thank you.
Thank you. You can talk to me after if you have more questions.
Paul, class fighter, come on down.
So, good evening, everyone. My name is Paul Taylor. I am the founder of ClassFighter.com. First of all, I want to thank Johan for putting this together and inviting me to speak here today. What you're looking at, like I said, I'm the founder. That's basically the current team. Brother Justy is the co-founder, and he's also a software engineer. And we've got Ahmed Ipal, who's our DBA, works on some of the backend database stuff. What is ClassFighter? ClassFighter is an aggregate. Sorry, no, I think I turned it off. Sorry. It's an aggregate website for it's basically a marketplace for listing classes that are available outside of the school system. So any class that you want to take, whether it be for country education, professional development through your job, required to do classes to improve management skills, communication skills, those kind of classes. Whether it be if you're like a trade person, like electrician or plumber, and required to take classes to learn the skills, it's basically allow you to find those skills. Additional stuff like hobby, whether it be fine golf classes or a dancing class to learn to like ice skating or salsa dancing or stuff like that. It's essentially one place, kind of similar to Craigslist, where you could go and find that information or price line. We can actually compare it, so you could see all the classes that are being offered in your area with the days that they're being offered, so you could compare them based on price or whatever other criteria that you have. The site is currently live, so you guys, I'm pretty sure almost everyone in here has taken a class out, since they've left college. So the site's currently live, so if you're thinking about taking a class, I'd advise you to go there first and try to find your class there and provide feedback. So some of the current resources, if you do a Google search for computer class, for example, you probably go through a bunch of ads first. You see a bunch of links, and you click through each of those links, and you may or may not even find the information that you're looking for, because a lot of sites, they list some of the information. They might list a brief description about the class, but they won't tell you how much it's going to be. Or they'll list the price, but you don't know where the class is being held. So what we're trying to do is basically take all of that stuff out, stick all of that stuff out, and give you a standardized way to say, okay, this is the class, this is what the time that it's being held, this is how much it's going to cost. And this sites like Facebook, you create your Facebook page for your class, but it's hard for people who don't know you or don't know about you to find that information. Same thing with Craigslist. I've talked to people who basically have to constantly update that information, so it'll be at the top of the list in order for people to find it. And I've come across so many individuals who teach a class, like a retired school bus driver wants to teach a class in driver education, and they might create a website, and that someone created a website for them a couple of years ago. So obviously they don't list price because that could change over time, and no one's actually going to find that website, just doing a Google search or whatever. And another common way of the class providers getting their information out there is through mailers and magazines. And especially for businesses who, for people who are interested in taking professional education classes or country education, the people who provide these classes, I talked to one individual who they charge $800 for the class, but it costs them like $600 to acquire each student, because the cost of mailers were so expensive that to send out so much mailers in order to get a single student. So basically, like I said, what Class Provider aims to do is to give you all that information in one place, make it searchable, make the results local. So if you're in Austin and you're searching for classes, you only see classes that are available in Austin at the date and time that you're looking for. Or if you're in a small town like Abilene or wherever and looking for classes, you see the classes around you and the days that you're looking for them. I guess the vision for the system is, I talk about creating the marketplace for it. We want to develop tools to help class providers manage and maintain their classes and their class schedules on the site. We want to develop tools that allows people to basically, use the site more regularly than just search for class here and then I never use it again. So we have talked about tools like maintaining a ongoing education record, basically a transcript of all the stuff you've done since you left school, whatever classes you've taken. And if you're in a profession that requires country education, you could actually maintain all that information in one place. If you get audited, then you're able to just print that off and supply it to the board.
You got 1 minute.
That's fine. Our business model is it not only changes, but it basically you add steps at different level of the project. Currently, where we are right now, the business model that we're working on is class providers could actually pay to promote their classes. So if you are in Houston and you've got a legal class that's coming up next month, you could actually pay extra and it gets promoted top of the search results there. We talked about doing targeted ads. As we get more, as the system gets more developed, then we actually hope to make it more like a marketplace, kind of like following like the eBay model, where we actually handle all the payments and that stuff for all the class providers and get a commission out of the payments that way. Currently, we've been launched for about 4 months now. We've been live for about 4 months. We started here in Austin, Texas. We've been expanding across Texas, and we've included a bunch of cities across Texas. Our milestone is to get awareness out there and get to 50,000 searches. Then we could actually, that's kind of what we feel is the threshold to start approaching class providers and getting them to pay for promoted searches. We're end of Q2, we're looking to serve all major markets in Texas and expand to San Francisco and New York. Our current need is 4 to 5 developers, Java developer, it's Java backend, and we're looking for UI developer, MySQL, to do those tasks, develop the community pages, improve the search results algorithm. We need business analysts and marketers, and of course, as it gets more usage, we're going to need more platform resources. And I think to achieve this, our funding goal that we're looking for is $2.5 million. So that's the contact page. So if you guys have any questions, please let me know.
Yep. Any questions?
So you can go on YouTube and get a lot of lessons and videos on there, and that's how I've seen people get by on everything from college courses to technical courses to using software. So would this essentially be a replacement for that?
Not necessarily a replacement. So there's a lot of sites right now that actually does online lessons. I mean, LinkedIn just acquired a site called Lynda for like $1.5 billion, and all they do is offer online lessons. Essentially, what we're trying to do is to create a marketplace where people, regardless of your profession or whatever it is that you do, you could actually find the classes. We're focused mainly on local. I mean, we do include online results in the search results, but we're actually more focused on local results. I mean, there's some classes you can't necessarily do online, right? I mean, if you want to take a truck driving class, for example, you're not gonna do that online. You want to take a golf class. There's like such a wide array of classes that you cannot do online. A dancing class, and if it's a continuing education requirements like professionals, a lot of those are actually held in done through conferences. Companies that do travel conferences across the country to do those classes. So those are all included in there.
You've got a pretty good website. What kind of traction do you currently have? I mean, how much money are you generating monthly and so forth?
So we've talked to. We've talked to a lot of vendors that classes are actually on the site right now, but it's more informational to them because, like I said, our goals was to get 50,000 users using the site before we actually start trying to get them to pay for monetize. So there's a question in the back.
So are you currently accepting money for classes? Like, are you accepting?
No, we don't. We currently actually don't accept money for classes currently. I mean, that's the goal when the site reaches maturity. Currently, we just send you to the class provider site.
So you're kind of an affiliate right now?
Yes, correct.
One more question.
Is there another question? I think that's it. Thank you guys for your time.
I just wanted to point out, the slides are not. My microphone's not working either. It's missing an S.
Yes, sorry about that.
Yes, so it's slides slider on the email. Thank you. So that's pretty much it. I'm gonna ask you guys if you guys can please pick up after yourself. Just kind of like Rudy's barbecue logo. Mom is not here to clean up after you, so please do clean up after yourself. And we're gonna do the raffle. So if you can come to the front and bring if anybody has a business card, just drop them in there. If you guys need to use the bathroom and run, let me know, or just drop your one business card right here. So, is that everybody's business card? So the choices to get today is the hackathon that we're having at Angel Hack next month. Excuse me guys, we haven't finished yet, so let's give it a few seconds and we'll be done. And you guys can start networking. But it's a class and also a shirt or a hat, so I guess throw somebody out here. Camper Powell, is he here? Okay, so.
You're gonna go with me.
Okay.
I mean.
Just I'll get you a shirt or something. But do you guys, this is for the shirt. You okay?
Yes.
Okay, and this is for the hackathon. Erickson. Wilkinson.
All right.
All right. So I got you. Come talk to me later. You get a free pass for the hackathon. All right, guys. So this is the time to network. I'll turn some music on. Once I turn it off at 9 o'clock, it's pretty much we got to get out of here. So go and network. Have some drinks here. If there's any food leftovers, time to network and meet others. Thank you.